Brothers and sisters, misses and misters, wrestling fans, and dented cans, this is the Dented Cast. My name is Dobie Maxwell. My partner here is Max Baumgartner. We are coming live through the internet for you with a very special show.
That's right. The dentedcast.com is where you can find some more information about this. But we'd like to go ahead and take some time just to tell you why we're doing the show, how the show came about, how we met. Dobie?
Well, Max and I worked at a radio station, The Loop 97.9, one of the biggest rock stations in America. We both came up the tough way through radio, like baseball. We came up through the minor leagues. It was our big dream, and it was the most awkward meeting I have ever had in my entire life because the big boss, the Darth Vader, the Death Star captain, put us all at a table, and there was about, as I recall, maybe 10 or 12 people, and some of us knew others, but nobody knew everybody. And I knew a couple of the people involved. I didn't know Max. Max knew a couple of the people involved, didn't know me. We sat down, and this big guy said, okay, be funny.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah.
Dobie
is a professional comedian, by the way.
Yeah, and one of the other guys that was on our show is as well, and we kind of came from that, but you guys didn't, and it was awkward, it was uncomfortable, so I started talking. I'm thinking, well, I want a job, so so we started, and then you started, and it took me about probably 5 minutes or less to know I like this guy, meaning I have no reason to say that good or bad. Just that was I like this guy. He gets it. I got a good feeling. We can work together.
Same for me. And I knew that you were funny in the first 5 minutes, and I knew that you would be the lightning or the special sauce on the double cheeseburger that makes it really good. And so I felt the same way. And being at the Loop in Chicago was a dream for me. Since I was a little kid growing up in Wapello, Iowa, being on the radio in Chicago was a dream. And it took me 17 years to get there.
That station and in the morning show, if you're not involved in radio, that's the big show. That's where all the money is put around. That's where the advertising is put around. We made the major leagues, and we were in the biggest market, big radio market. And it was just a thrill. And as we got to work together, I knew I liked Max off air. And he was a real guy. He had a family, and some of the problems that he had were a lot of the problems that I had. And it boiled down to, coming from a family that was dysfunctional is not even the word. They use that word. That I aspire to having a dysfunctional family. We were off the charts, and that's why I think we bonded so well. And that's how the Dented Can concept came together. I used to work at a grocery store in high school, and the Dented Cans were the ones that, through no fault of their own, got damaged. They didn't get a chance to be picked by a family to go home and be part of a family dinner. They were relegated to the back of the store in a cart. And the cart is next to the two big swinging doors at the grocery store. And the only people that go back behind it are the staff, and if you have to go to the bathroom. And it's nasty, and it's funky, and it's disgusting. And that's the island of misfit toys is that cart. Everything the store doesn't want. Misshapen fruits and vegetables, a zucchini with a goiter on it. They put it in the cart. And a bag of flour that somebody dropped, and they put a duct tape around it, and they put it in the cart. And it's not even a nice sign that's made by a printer. It's just a handwritten piece of paper. Buy this junk. Get it out of the store. We don't want it. We'll take anything. We'll take Monopoly money, aluminum cans, undocumented babies, anything in trade for this. And that's where the Dented Cans go. And I think there are so many people like us that get no attention. You grew up in Wapello, Iowa, smart kid. I could tell you were a good student, good-looking kid. The chicks dig you. But you don't worry about the girls digging you because you're so worried about, am I good enough? How can I survive my father, my mother, our broken home, all those things that are going on in the head of a kid that's growing up. And I think there are so many kids like that just pass through life unnoticed. And you see it on the news. Say, a cop is killed in the line of duty protecting society, and there's lefties, 32 years old with 2 young children at home. What happens to those children at home? They grow up without a father, and they feel bad, and their mother has to work hard, and maybe the alcohol gets involved, and it's all this horrible stuff that nobody ever plans for in life. And I think to recover from that, it's not our fault that our cans are dented. But they are dented, and they're dented in different places to different degrees. We wanted to create a network, and we are creating a network for those of us to come together and to heal and to speak and to know that we have value as people and know that we're not perfect. And as we get through life and go through all the things that are hard enough anyway, you've gone through a marriage, and I've gone through comedy and things that you want to have a family and a support group, and sometimes we don't. In a long story, That's why we are here with the Dented Cast.
And I think, too, I'm a believer. We'll go through a couple of differences that we have between us. For instance, I believe very much in God and Jesus.
And I do not, and I'm not coming from an antagonistic viewpoint with that. I look at myself as a reluctant agnostic.
Okay.
I want there to be a God, a guy with a white beard that rewards you when you eat your Brussels sprouts.
Fair enough.
And I just don't see that. And we're going to do it in a peaceful way. When we talk about things, the respect for each other that a lot of times, you said this, and I'm going to give you full credit, a dented can home is an angry home.
That's right. Yeah.
And we have to shake that off sometimes and to talk as human beings. And over the years, you and I have done that. I think we're going to bring that to our show.
We have. And you and I have crossed paths. You know, we've locked horns before, but we've always come back.
And I've always been right.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So differences between us. I'm a believer. You're not a believer.
Yeah.
I'm married. You're not married.
Correct.
You've never been married.
No, and I wanted to be, but I was afraid of it because I put excuses in my head. And as I get older, I'm thinking, I didn't want to be my father. It's plain and simple.
Is that the same reason you didn't want to have kids too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would have been so afraid now that I'm in the age that my father was when we did not talk for years and years, to have my kids say you were a horrible father and I don't want to be around you. I couldn't live with that.
Okay, so I'm still married to the same lady.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, you know, the guy that you said, white beard, that likes me to eat my Brussels sprouts.
This will be a whole episode in itself, and people are watching us. They have marriage problems,
right?
And maybe they want to get married. So all the things that we're going to talk about are not about us. It's about you and the things that we can do that nobody ever talks about. Now, you have been on other radio stations than I have, but every time we've brought this up on the shows I've been on, someone calls or someone sends an email and said, "Oh my gosh, thank you! Somebody talked about it finally," because they think that these people they feel like outcasts, that no one feels their pain. That's why we're doing it.
Another one of the differences we have is I actually had a relationship with my mother and father. You did not. You were raised primarily by your grandparents.
Yes, I will get into that a little bit more, but my mother abandoned our whole family at age 5 months old, and I've spent more time with you.
You were 5 months old.
I was 5 months old, yes. I have an older brother, older sister, but you and I have spent more time on this podcast now than I spent with my mother in my life.
Right.
And that's just how it is, and there are other people that can relate to that, sadly, but it's true.
This channel's for people that suffer from depression for no real cause or nothing that they can tie it to. This channel's for people that feel like the entire world is against them. This channel's for people that feel inadequate in nearly every situation and circumstance. And this channel's for people that feel that society makes it really hard for them to fit in, and sometimes they just want to give up and turn it off. That's who this channel's for.
Everything Max just said is absolutely true, and we're coming to you from the heart. We may stutter, we may stammer, we may not be Hollywood good-looking. Max is. I am more of the rodeo clown and the comedian, and that's the way it is. But if you're not on the A-list, and in high school you went to the prom and the king and the queen and all those things you maybe dreamed about but didn't, there is still a reason for living. There is still goodness in life. There is still goodness in you. And Max and I have been through a lot of hell together to bring you this Dented Cast. We want you to be regulars because it's not about us. It's about you, so we can all grow, we can all heal, and we can all learn how to, dare I say this four-letter word, love. Love you, love us, love ourselves, and love a higher power, whether it's God or in the universe or the king of Uranus or whatever it is. We are here, and we appreciate you, and we'll be back again, whether you want us to or not.